All right, so number one, we want to find the vertex, and we have 4 parts. Okay, so we're given the equation already in vertex form. It is kx. Now, don't worry about what letters they use. They'll change these up often, but mainly our variable is x. So sometimes the normal one is f of x. They might use h and g, but sometimes they'll use random letters. But it's just a function notation, so don't be alarmed by the different letters. So we have x minus 5 quantity squared minus 4. Okay, so this is in vertex form. So this is, let me just write that out. Vertex form, okay, is generally given f of x is equal to, and it could be a constant out front, so I'm just going to put a out here, x minus h squared plus k. So you need to be mindful of the signs from vertex form. So whenever you write the vertex is given by hk. Notice we use the opposite value. So right here is a minus h, and we just put a positive h here. Positive k, we use the same value. That is the same transformation that you use here. So when you're trying to find vertex, so for part 1, when we're trying to find vertex, I'm just going to say a. We're going to use the opposite value here. So when you're inside parentheses, do the opposite value. So just a positive 5. Outside, you use the exact value, so a negative 4. So just remember that when you're doing vertex. 5, negative 4. All right, so now we want to know how many x-intercepts does the function have. So in order to find that, we want to find the x-intercept. Remember, y value is 0. And in this case, our y is our function part, so the kx. So what I'm going to do is set this equal to 0. So I'm going to have 0 equals x minus 5 quantity squared minus 4. And then we're going to solve for x. So I'm going to add 4 to both sides. Gives us 4 equals the quantity x minus 5 squared. And then to get rid of the squared, we need to take the square root of both sides. So we take the square root of both sides, and that gives us positive or negative 2. So that's the thing you got to remember. When you take the square root of a number, plus or minus, equals, and then we just lose the squared, and we get x minus 5. All right, so we're going to get 2 solutions. We are going to have, I'm just going to write it the other way. We're going to have x minus 5 equals 2, and then we have an x minus 5 equal negative 2. So you got to evaluate that plus or minus with both. You add 5, and that gives us x equals 7. When we add 5 here, we end up subtracting, and that gives us x equals 3. So we get 2 x-intercepts. And they are 7, 0, and 3, 0. Okay, so now we want to find 2 points on the graph of this parabola other than the vertex and the x-intercepts. So we've already have a vertex, which was 5, negative 4, and then we have 2 x-intercepts. So we've used x value of 3 and 7. So what we're going to do, we're going to use, and we can use any values we want, okay, except for the ones that we've already found. We cannot use 7, we cannot use 3, we don't want to use 5. So what we're going to do is we're going to just pick any 2 x values that will be easy to work with. Let's just say 0 and 1. Really small numbers, easy to work with. We're going to plug those in one at a time into the original equation. and it's going to give us two other ordered pairs. So I'm going to say k of 0, which means I'm going to take the equation and plug a 0 for x. So I'm going to have a 0 here, minus 5, that's going to get squared, and then minus 4. So that's going to be a negative 5 squared, which is going to give us a positive 25 minus 4, and then that is going to give us 21. So when we plug a 0 for x, we get 21. So the ordered pair is 0, 21. And then we're going to do the same thing, except this time we're going to use 1. So this time I'm going to plug in a 1. So I'm going to say k of 1. So I'm plugging in 1 for x. 1 minus 5, quantity squared, minus 4. All right, so this is going to give us a negative 4 squared minus 4, positive 16 minus 4, and that's going to give us 12. So when we plug in 1, we get 12. So ordered pair 1, 12. So we get these two ordered pairs. These are different from the intercepts and the vertex. So 0, 21, and 1, 12. And then step 4, we want to graph the parabola. It says points can be moved by dragging using the arrow keys. So I think we're just going to drag these points to the vertex. So the vertex was negative, or 5, negative 4. So I'm going to go right 5, down 4. And then we can just use the X-Intercepts. Let me see, does it tell you? Okay, so it doesn't say you can't use those, so we're just going to use the intercepts. Let's go to 7, 0. Let's put that all the way up there. 7, 0, that looks about right. 5, 6, 7. Okay, so it automatically put the other point on the right side.